Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 360, as well as day 360 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame and to run 2 major races within this yearly time frame, on top of another handful of mini running challenges that I'll go over. But first, let's talk about those major races. One of those races within this yearly time frame of running every day was a 50K ultra marathon trail race. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan, on day 156 of my journey. I was able to run that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds, which was a personal record for me, and was able to keep the run streak alive after that race. Building up to the next race within this yearly time frame, which was on day 290 of my journey, and that was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. I was able to run that 26.2 mile race within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds, which also was a personal record for me. Was very excited about both of those times in both of those races. After that marathon, was able to keep the run streak alive as well. Now we are up to this day, today, day 360. We are only 5 days after tonight to close out the year of running every single day this year. To not get into crazy detail, but it would be actually day 363 for me in a row so far of running. But for the year, it is day 360. So for day 360, let's actually break down the mileage for the day, the week, the month, and the year. So for the day to day, got out there, put a huge day in, huge trail day, and put in 18 miles for the day. That put me at 36.2 miles for the week, which put me at 103.1 miles for the month, which put me at 1,678.4 miles for the year. So we have surpassed the yearly goal of 1,500 miles as well for this year. So got the 2 big races done for the year. Have surpassed the yearly mileage goal of 1,500, which at the beginning of the year started actually at 1,250, but bumped it up to 1,500 once I realized I was really going to pass 1,250. And I set it at 1,250 because last year I was only able to run 1,000 miles, just over 1,000 miles within 1 year in 2020, and that wasn't every single day running and everything like that. So bumped it to 1,250, thinking that was a big bump. But now we're here sitting at 1,678.4, so we're 178.4 over the 1,500 mile yearly goal. So that is kind of awesome as well. Today's run of 18 miles has also helped me surpass 2 different other goals that I've set for myself. One of those goals being running a half marathon, at least one every single month. Did 18 miler today, so that is over a half marathon. Was excited about that. That was December, so I've officially ran at least 12 half marathons, one for every month throughout the year. So that's another feat that I have accomplished. And another one is the 100-mile challenge, which we're going to talk about right here. So for the month, the monthly miles of 103.1. I challenge myself every month. I had challenged myself every month to run at least a 100-mile challenge and do it in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for. For the first 11 months, raised money for 11 great charities. Now we're here within the 12th month, the month of December, raising money for yet another great charity, that being St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you would like to donate to this month's charity, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story or my personal page's Facebook stories. Within those stories, all you have to do is actually click on within the link, and it'll open up the actual Facebook page where you can make your donations. Keep in mind, all donations that get made to this cause, every penny percentage of it goes directly to this cause, St. Jude's. Facebook is not taking or keeping any percentage or portion of your donations. All of it goes to St. Jude's. I do know times are tough, though. Not everyone can afford to donate, but would like to still help out. The next best thing we can do is raise awareness for this cause, and you can do that by sharing it, putting it on your page, or even putting it within your stories on your Facebook or Instagram. So let's truly help out for St. Jude's here in the month of December. And again, let's touch on the fact that this is the last 100-mile challenge for the year. Was able to, again, surpass every single 100-mile challenge running throughout the whole entire year. So clearly we're sitting at almost 1,700 miles. You would hope that I surpass the 100-mile challenge every month. But this month was actually kind of really in question. Started it off really slow and really got behind because of the amount of miles I put in last month in November. I put in over 216 miles in November, and it really kind of injured my foot and took myself out of commission to actually come back this month real strong. So at the beginning of this month I had to take it easy to try to heal up my foot, and actually kind of fell behind and was worried I wasn't going to be able to get the 100-mile challenge complete. But we have done it every month. We have completed and ran the 100 miles for the 100-mile challenges. And again, we raised money for 11 great charities so far, and we are doing yet another great charity here again in the month of December, and it is St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So get your donations in and help share and raise awareness for this cause this month. Now let's get into today's actual episode, but right before, as always, let's get into the word of the day today for December 26, 2021, and it is Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is an African American cultural festival held from December 26th to January 1st. And it is celebrated with candle lighting ceremonies. So that is today's word of the day. It is Kwanzaa for December 26th. Now let's get into today's actual episode. Episode 360, day 360. Today's theme is cycle. And for a couple different reasons. Ironically, one being that a 360 is just a full cycle. It's a full circle. It's coming back to where you were. So I thought it would be a perfect time to touch and talk about a cycle. And two, we're almost completed the full yearly cycle. So, why not talk about it here again? Because, again, a 360 is a full circle. So we have came almost full circle. Let's talk about that. And I want to talk about just having a cycle in general. having a thing, a progression of events that you can go through and repeat in order. How important it is, and how having just this run cycle of running every day has truly helped me out. So first and foremost, I do and am a big believer in cycles. I believe that things happen, they come and they go in waves, and they come back and go in waves. And I do apologize, I am really tired. It is super, super late here. But so I'm a big believer in cycles. But I also, for the longest time, was one that never had a cycle. Or this cycle, I guess you could say, I had was a very boring and cyclist cycle, I guess you could say, doing just the same thing over and over again, but never really changing the events in an order, because there was no order. It was just doing nothing. At least that's how I felt. Obviously, I did things and wasn't just doing nothing all the time, but was just in a bad place. Felt really hopeless, and it wasn't until having a cycle and starting a cycle and starting this run cycle. Obviously, this year was really crazy, doing the everyday challenge of running every day. But even going back a couple years and starting the just starting running in general and putting that into my daily cycle, and starting that actually is more like a weekly, monthly cycle of saying, all right, this is how many miles I want this week or this month. And some days I throw it in the cycle, some days I wouldn't. And then really challenge myself this year to make it part of the routine, and make it part of the cycle, the process to go through. And here we are, 360 days into 2021, and I've ran every single day of it. It is part of the cycle. And again, I think it has truly helped me out tremendously to, one, analyze my cycle and where it was at, and what was actually part of it, and again, the highs and lows of my own personal cycle, but as well, just where I was at in my cycle, and how I wanted my cycle to play out, and realizing what kind of cycle I put myself on. And it wasn't until realizing that and understanding the cycle I was on, and realizing I wanted to change my cycle, and kind of pick how I wanted to do my cycle different, and attacked it differently. Now I'm on a great cycle. Obviously, not the best cycle for everyone, and possibly not even the best cycle for me. There's probably always something a little bit better out there, and that's kind of what I'm doing, is trying to chase it. But the cycle works, and it's definitely a way better cycle than where I was before. So, on the other hand, I do think everything comes back, and I think everything, just like the seasons, they happen over and over and over again, maybe in a different form, but the same thing happens, and same feelings, the same situations. And I truly am a big believer in cycles. And this is just going off a whim, nothing crazy, or this is crazy, I guess you should say. No scientific evidence, but for me at least, it seems like I'm on some weird 12-year cycle where every 12 years something very significant happens within my life. So we'll see where that takes us. But that has for me at least, been something that I have noticed. So, I am a big believer in cycles. I had to really analyze the cycle, my daily cycle that I was going through, and figure out how I wanted to manipulate it and change it to become the version of myself who I am today. And this is a process that I continuously do, where I realize that even this version I am today, even though it is a lot better in who I was aiming at to be today, I know that there's always more improvements, and I can work on thinking about that cycle as well that I need to start going through in order to get to that person that I want to be. Continuously push and push and push, and realize this is a developing process, a continuously developing process that will never find an end. So for your daily discipline today, day 360, it is to do the same thing. It is to go out there and realize that your life is a cycle. Life in general is a cycle. We live in cycles, and we live by cycles. And what kind of cycle are you living in, and what kind of life cycle do you have? And are the things that you do within your cycle, are they helping you obtain where you truly want to go? And if not, what is it that you can add into your daily routine, your daily cycle, that'll help you get to where you're at? So that is your daily discipline for the actual day today. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening along on. I'm your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline Podcast, episode 360, Cycle. Until tomorrow, get your daily discipline done. Stay disciplined. Get your donations in for the 100-mile challenge in honor of St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And until tomorrow, guys. Peace out. Thanks.